Hey guys, what's going on? It's King Christo here, and today I'm going to be compiling what we know about the Ryzen 3 CPUs. Ryzen 3 should be right around the corner now, and I'm hoping this video will help anyone who is in the process of building a new PC decide whether or not they think it's worth it to wait until Ryzen 3 or just build now. I got a lot of information from a variety of different websites and articles, and I'll link them all down below. Without further ado, let's get into it. First off, there are seemingly going to be 3 Ryzen 3 series processors for Ryzen 3rd gen. That's a lot of 3s. The most amazing thing about this SKU is the fact that the processors range from $99 to $129, yet they are still a full 6 cores and 12 threads. Starting with the $99 Ryzen 3 3300 clocked at 3.2 GHz with a boost of 4 GHz and a 50-watt TDP, and moving up to the $129 3300X with a higher base clock of 3.5 GHz and a boost of 4.3 GHz and a 65-watt TDP, I'd recommend the Ryzen 3 3300 simply because after overclocking you would most likely get very similar performance numbers. Finally, they are releasing a Ryzen 3 3300G, a $129 APU clocked at 3 GHz with a boost of 3.8 GHz and a 65-watt TDP. The G portion means that it has some sort of onboard graphics processing unit, so you won't necessarily need a graphics card to run a system with this chip. Moving up, the Ryzen 5 series also features 3 new processors, all consisting of 8 cores and 16 threads. The $178 65-watt TDP Ryzen 5 3600 is first up with clocks of 3.6 GHz and 4.4 GHz respectively. Following that is the $229 Ryzen 5 3600X, consisting of respective clocks of 4 GHz and 4.8 GHz and a 95-watt TDP. It's said that these CPUs will be able to compete with the i9 9900K. Finally, there is that APU series chip, the Ryzen 5 3600G, starting at $199 with a base clock of 3.2 GHz and a boost clock of 4 GHz. The Ryzen 7 series of processors only has 2 chips, as at this point they decided to ditch the APU lineup. The CPUs in this line have a crazy 12 cores and 24 threads, along with a 95-watt TDP for the standard and a 105-watt TDP for the X series. The Ryzen 7 3700 costs $299 and has a base clock of 3.8 GHz and a boost of 4.6 GHz. The Ryzen 7 3700X costs $329 and has a base clock of 4.2 GHz with a boost of 5 GHz. These are some insane clock speeds for such high core count CPUs. Now, if you thought the lineup stopped there, I wouldn't blame you. 12 cores and 24 threads is already unheard of before in the mainstream platform. However, AMD is also preparing a Ryzen 9 lineup with 16 cores and 32 threads. The $450 Ryzen 9 3800X has a base clock of 3.9 GHz as well as a boost clock of 4.7 GHz with a TDP of 125 watts, while the Ryzen 9 3850X has a base clock of 4.3 GHz and a boost of 5.1 GHz with a TDP of 135 watts. You heard me right. 16 cores and 32 threads at 5.1 GHz. So this was all the latest information for the new Ryzen 3 lineup. I hope everyone enjoyed the video and maybe learned a thing or two, and I really hope that it helped any new builders decide whether they should wait for Ryzen 3 or just pull the trigger on Ryzen's 2nd generation. I want to remind everyone that the official King Christo Tech Discord server, ChristoCord, is linked down below. If you want to be part of the community, I definitely recommend joining. Without further ado, this is King Christo signing off. Feel free to comment, like, and subscribe if you enjoyed, and peace out.